Hi, Dan here with Fluid. You know, a lot of people starting out, they're tabletop filling. They're pouring liquid by hand into bottles, and they want something different. They want to go with something that's more of a solution for what they're doing. They're tired of doing it by hand. They're tired of the mess. They're tired of inaccuracy, whatever it may be. So you go on Google and you say tabletop filler, and a whole lot of different filling methods come up. You know, pump fillers, gravity fillers, piston fillers, overflow fillers. How do you decide what's the right filler for you? And piston fillers, which is what I want to talk to you about today, is probably the most popular one that people buy when they're trying to upgrade for the first time from hand pouring to doing something else. So let's take a minute to talk about what a piston filler is and how it works. The simplest form of a piston is what a nurse or doctor would use to give you a shot of medicine, okay? And if you look at this is our test filler, one of our test fillers. And to understand how this process works, here's the hopper where the product goes in. And when this valve connects the pathway from this hopper to this product barrel where the piston is. So when this actuator, pneumatic actuator, so it uses compressed air to draw back the product, okay? And then the switch says, okay, I'm full. So now we turn the valve right here the other way. So when this dispenses, it's going to dispense to the nozzle now instead of back to the hopper. So then it dispenses forward. Once you set that, you get the air primed out, you set this volumetric displacement, okay, whatever it is. If I want to go that far, I'm going to do that repeatedly based on where I put my switch here. So that's the nice thing about it. Once you set the metering and lock it down, you just set and forget it. You just run. You can run all day or run for an hour, whatever suits your production requirements. But it's very simple to just keep this going and meter the precise volume every time. So a lot of people ask, well, can I use the same size piston for all my fills? And a piston filler, all piston fillers, as a general rule of thumb in the industry, piston fillers will typically do accurately about 10% to 100% of the product volume. So you might see a 17-ounce piston filler that'll do down to 1.7 ounces on Google. Okay, and most piston fillers will do that big a range if that's the size of the piston, but it's not going to necessarily do that accurately. Usually, again, rule of thumb in the industry is about 25% of that product barrel up to 100% is your accuracy range. Okay, and just to illustrate that, if you imagine something like a simple syringe, if I've got a syringe this big and I'm trying to do a really small amount with a life-saving drug that can save your life, but too much will kill you, you're not going to want to dispense a little tiny amount with that big a syringe. Because the inaccuracy of my eye in measuring that out is kind of like the inaccuracy of every filler has a little bit of tolerance, a little bit of slop. Nothing's dead accurate, completely, 100%. So a nurse or doctor who's giving you that severe of a drug, they're going to use a smaller piston, okay? So the good news is you can do a range of fill sizes. The bad news is if you've got a really wide range, then perhaps you need two different sizes or we need to look at a different filling method. But in most cases, the piston filler is the most versatile that you could use. So what do you look for in a piston filler? Okay, if you're looking for looking on Google for a tabletop piston filler, there are a lot out there, and they range everything. The price goes from $500 on way on up. Okay, so how do you compare? How do you know what you're looking for? Well, you have to read the fine print. Okay, so it's important to look beneath the picture and see what materials are they using. That's always a good start, because a lot of companies with the really inexpensive fillers are using 304 stainless steel. for their product contact parts. And the good ones use 316 for product contact parts. So if you don't know what I mean by that, okay, you think about the grade of stainless steel, okay? Contact parts are the things where your product actually comes in contact as part of the fluid pathway. Your product actually goes in the product barrel, it goes in the hopper, it can even touch the lid on a regular basis. Obviously the inside of the nozzle, those are product contact parts. The base right here, that's non-contact. And that's industry term, non-contact, okay? So 304 stainless steel is fine for this because you get something on it, you're gonna wipe it off, okay? But 304 stainless steel for product contact parts, 304 does not hold up and prevent surface contact or surface rust like 316 will, okay? So even though you clean the machine and you set it, you clean, you sanitize, you dry the parts, you have to be very careful. With 304, you can have surface rust, and with products that are consumable, in terms of, you eat, drink, or products like you inject, pharmaceutical products, or even topical products like creams and lotions, you don't want to put rust on your body or in your body. So the materials of construction are important. Another thing is you've got other products in here like O-rings, gaskets, different types of elastomeric seals, and the Teflon piston head that we use. All these parts, including the stainless steel, need to have certification for food grade. You don't want to use, you don't want to buy a filler where the O-ring is suitable for a car, but not necessarily suitable for a product you're going to drink or eat, unless maybe you're doing motor oil for a car, in which case it's okay. So just be aware of what you're buying and look at the material of construction for each part on the machine. If you have any questions, give us a call. Let me know. So another thing to look for when you're buying a piston filler is, what do I need to take this apart and clean it? Can I take it apart and clean it? Okay, some are very easy to take apart, some are not, but in terms of all of them, what tools are you going to need to do that? Are they included with the equipment? Does it come with the machine? So like ours comes with a toolkit, and you can take this apart and clean it in about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on who you are, okay, and what the product is, how nasty it is, but it's pretty easy to take care of. In fact, let me just show you how to clean this. Take the hopper off. Now I'm presuming these are dirty, and of course they're not. These are tri-clamps. If you're not familiar with these are readily used in the industry, available just about anywhere. And it uses a silicone gasket in most cases with food. Silicone is good, like it says, food certified, and it's good to about 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And there are other materials available depending on what you are trying to fill. So if you needed Viton, EPDM, or even exotic elastomers like Calrez or something, because you're doing very severe, aggressive, corrosive products, we can get that for you. So take those off, and I'm going to take my nozzle apart here. And I always do this dirty. Some people will flush the machine until it runs clear and everything like that. I'm not a big fan. This is also silicone, but it's white. It's also, you'll see it in red, very common. Okay, so I take that apart. Take this apart. And of course, forgot to tell you, I've got the air off the machine so I can't get hurt. That's important. And then I'm going to pull. This is the plunger which actuates the bottom closed nozzle. This is what closes the tip so that you don't drip, and that's important, okay? And so the O-rings here, you don't want to take O-rings off with a screwdriver, okay? It's easy to nick your O-ring and break it. So when you're taking O-rings off of a shaft like this, you want to push that O-ring around until it bubbles up on one side, and then you can just get your finger under it. And these are lubricated with food grade grease. Okay, so sometimes it's easier to do with a towel, but it's relatively simple to do, okay? Then I'm going to take this off. another silicone gasket. And when I'm doing this, I just lay all the parts on a cart dirty. I take them over to a 3-compartment sink, like you'd use in any restaurant. I wash, wash them with soap and water, rinse, sanitize, dry, and you're good, okay? So now this is our 3-way rotary valve, and this is what directs the product from the hopper into the product barrel. Okay, so to take this apart, I'm going to remove this, that out. And I've got one on this side, which you can't see, but I'll get this out. Okay. And then this is the actuator, and I've got a linkage bolt here that links this, and this is what actually turns the rotary valve. I'll show you how that works in just a minute here. So I'm going to loosen this up. So once that's loose, I will just show you how this works. I just turn this, and it mimics how the rotary valve works, and it should just turn easily like that. Okay, so now I can pull this out and clean this. So that comes out. Got another O-ring there. This whole piece can get submerged. Again, wash, soapy water, sanitize. As long as you're not going to spray like straight bleach on it, even 316 stainless steel will rust with something like that. But any kind of diluted chlorine bleach or quad ammonia sanitizer is fine for that. Then I'm going to take apart the product barrel from the rotary valve. Slide that apart. Another silicone gasket. Okay. Oops. And this one, just undo these, and the product barrel will just slide right out. Actually, I need to loosen this up. These lock down pretty tight, and you want them to, because when the piston moves, you don't want the whole product barrel going that way. And that's the piston, which is food grade Teflon. Okay, you can see the buildup on the grease, so when we ran through it, it actually, whatever we were running last, made that black, but this will clean up and it will still be white. And these are, again, the red silicone, food grade. Now, whenever you're taking the O-rings off the piston, anytime you have 2 pistons stacked on a cylinder, you want to take the back one off first, because if not, you'll take the front one off, and the back one will snap right back into its place. So you take the back off first, and then this one. And that is all my product contact parts that need to be washed. The surface of the machine is easy to just do a wipe down. You can even take mild abrasives to it. I've even filled mild abrasives with it, or Gojo. Drywall mud is abrasive. So those things can be filled with it. You can also clean the machine up with it. So piston filling. Now you have at least a little bit of understanding of how they work if you didn't before. And the next question about how to decide who to buy from is, who are you dealing with? So think about, are you talking to a person? Are you talking to a website? And when you have a problem, are they going to be able to pick up the phone and help you solve that problem? Do they stock parts? Do spare parts come with the machine? If you needed parts from them, how long would it take to get them? These are the kind of questions that you want to think about before you decide where you're going to place your investment, because you worked hard for that investment. I hope this helps. I hope you found this video helpful and you like it. And if you did, I'd like you to hit that like button and ring the bell and subscribe to us. Thank you.